In every corner of Nigeria, behind closed doors and quiet streets, lies a story, a crime that refuses to stay buried. Welcome to True Crime Nigeria, where mysteries are uncovered, secrets are revealed, and the truth is always darker than you can imagine. One Lagos evening, there was a phone call from the gate. "Madam, dispatch rider for you." But Deborah Moses, known online as Deborah Porsche, says she isn't expecting anything. She tells security to send him away. Minutes later, a shadow slips over a wall, and the package delivered is death. Now let's start with the person, not the crime. Deborah Moses was a young interior designer. Benue roots, Lagos hustle, building a portfolio one room at a time. Clients liked her eye. Friends said she was focused. Online, she went by the name Deborah Porsche, sharing bits of work and life. She had finished school, done NYSC. In fact, she was, as Nigerians would always say, just starting. But there was also a past, a relationship that ended long before the headlines. Reports would later identify an ex-boyfriend named Lintex, or rather Lintex Ogali, popularly known on Twitter as Lintex of Africa. On a Wednesday night in early September 2025, that name would return violently. Security called her to say there was a rider outside who knew her name. She said no, she wasn't expecting anything and that they should send him away. That should have been the end, right? But it wasn't. According to multiple reports, the man at the gate wasn't a rider at all. He was there under a disguise, a mask with a visor, a package with a lie inside. He left, or seemed to have, and then somehow scaled the fence, found a way in, and what followed inside Deborah's apartment would launch a citywide outcry. This leaves me pondering, have you ever refused a delivery because something felt off? Because in this case, I think Deborah must have felt something off, and that was why she asked that the dispatcher be sent away. Neighbors would later describe hearing a struggle. By the time people forced the door open, Deborah had been stabbed multiple times. Reports say the suspect was detained at the scene and handed over to the police. Across reputable newsrooms, the core beats are lined. An ex-boyfriend, a dispatch rider ruse, an attack inside her home. The shock spread from Lagos estates to Benue timelines in minutes. Justice for Deborah had begun to trend. But there's a detail that should sink, and that's the fact that Deborah did the right thing. She refused the package, and still, danger found another door in. That's just sad. The first wave of the story sketched a familiar, chilling pattern. A breakup, unwanted calls, threats. You have heard the line, "If I can't have you, no one will." Well, that phrase rings through too many obituaries. And then social media posts surfaced that appeared to show the suspect's older comments about men killing women over cheating. Now, let's be careful here though, because posts aren't proof. Courts need evidence, not virality. But those screenshots, true or not, colored public opinion in real time. But come to think of it, do you think social media posts, old tweets and comments should weigh heavily in public perception while the case is still under investigation? There's been an update since this story came to limelight, not from the police pressers, not yet from court records, but from multiple online accounts close to the community, suggesting that this may have been a business deal gone wrong. The story goes like this. Months before the attack, a sizable interior design contract, figures reported online range between 17 to 20 million naira, allegedly came Deborah's way. Not directly from the suspect, but via people he had influenced or suggested her to. The claim here is that Deborah didn't know he was the one behind the referral. She took the job purely on its merits. Now, like many other projects in real life, this project didn't deliver the profits people had expected. After costs, timelines, and scopes, the messy, unglamorous parts of design, she reportedly made far less than outsiders imagined. Now, according to the charter, the referrers supposedly expected a cut of about 500k and above, with the suspect, Lintex Ogali, allegedly hoping for about 500k himself. Now, Deborah could only manage to give out 100,000 naira after the losses she made from the project, and this was what set him off. He reportedly asked other designers if it was even possible to make so little on a job that big. He was told yes, it happens, but he allegedly refused to believe it, and he continuously said he would not let this slide. Weeks later, he did the unthinkable. Please note that these money motive details are being circulated online by community pages and individuals. It is not yet confirmed in official police statements or court filings as of the time we are recording. Treat them as allegations until we get primary documentation. We will link the verified reports and notable community posts in our description. Which brings me to this question, and this question is for designers, contractors, and freelancers. Have you ever finished a big project or a big contract and earned far less than outsiders expected? Please tell us, we are curious to know. You don't even have to mention your clients. What really eats profit on a 10 million to 20 million naira job? There's also been a stranger thread in the updates. Screenshots of an anonymous Facebook style post from June 2025 now making the rounds. The post bearing Deborah's photo warns that an ex had discovered she was dating someone close to him and was planning to kill her, advising she meet with him, her new partner, and a priest to ask for forgiveness. Ridiculous, right? Chilling, right? Maybe both. But here is the key. We don't know who authored that post or whether it is connected to any formal complaint. However, what it does suggest is that someone was already pushing a narrative months before the killing, baiting fear, or maybe demanding a performance. Again, treat this as unverified social content, not legal fact. But if true, it does paint a portrait. Control masked as prophecy. When you can't get compliance in private, you summon an audience, you humiliate, you frighten, you put a woman's safety up to a vote of strangers. So, which is it? A crime of obsession? If I can't have you, no one will. Or a crime of money? You cheated me out of my court. Or maybe it's both. Think about it. If you believe the stalking threat line, then the dispatch rider disguise looks like persistence turned human. A refusal at the gate only inspires a new method of entry. The lie becomes the key. If you believe the business deal line, then the disguise becomes a lever to enforce an imagined debt. A referral commission blown into a grievance blown into a plan blown into a homicide. Again, alleged online, not yet established in court. But look closer and the motives interlock. An abuser doesn't want your love. They want your life to orbit theirs. Your work, your money, your future conversations. If the update is accurate, the contract wasn't just about cash. It was a rope. a rope thrown back into a story he couldn't accept was over. And that night, whether fueled by entitlement or envy, obsession or old money, a human being picked up a knife and ended a life that had tried to move on. That is just sad. Police say the suspect is in custody as investigations continue. We will follow the filings, not the noise. Interior design is a strange magic. It asks, what do you want to feel when you walk in? Calm? Held? Seen? Deborah's work was the act of making space kinder. She was trying to shape rooms that heal, and instead, her own room became a crime scene. From Benue to Lagos, the call was immediate: justice for Deb'rah. A reminder to estates that a helmet and a parcel can be a mask. A reminder to neighbors to move when you hear the sound no one wants to hear. A reminder to the rest of us that delivery culture, the most ordinary part of our day, can be weaponized by someone who wants access, not apologies. If you live in a gated community, what's your delivery protocol? Do riders come to your door? Are names verified? Do guards call twice? What simple change would make you feel safer tomorrow? Tell us in the comment section. Her name was Deborah Moses. She tried to live a small, beautiful truth, choosing her work, choosing her peace, choosing no when no was the only safe word left. Share her story, say her name, and if you are watching this inside a gated estate, ask one question tonight. Is a package the easiest way to break into our lives? This case raises a hard question. Was this about obsession or about money, or both? Tell us in the comments. If a rider at your gate asked for you by name, would you step out or refuse like Deborah did? If so, why? And for designers and contractors, on a 10 to 20 million naira job, what realistic net have you seen after costs? Help the public understand the difference between contract value and take-home profit. And what's that one change that estates should make this week to keep residents safer? If you want more stories covered seriously and respectfully, like this video, subscribe to True Crime Nigeria, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update in Deborah's case. Justice for Deborah. Thank you for watching.